Looks like in Canada, we have our very own Jessie Smollet. First off, let me tell you who Jessie Smollet was. Jessie was a gay actor on the show Empire who claimed a few years ago that while he was walking the cold streets of Chicago, which when it was like minus 30 out, he was attacked by two MAGA protesters who said, "Hey boy, you don't belong here. This is MAGA country." Well, as it turns out, those two attackers were two Nigerian gay brothers that he had hired to attack him. Yeah, it was all a hoax. And it would appear we have our very own Jessie Smollet in the likeness of Joel Harden. Now, who's Joel Harden? Well, Joel Harden is an Ontario MPP member. That's right, he's in the Ontario legislature and an NDP staunch advocate. So, as you can imagine, he's pro-trans, pro-transing the kids, indoctrination, all that good stuff. Now, how did all of this come about? Well, last week in Ottawa, there was a protest organized by Josh Alexander. You may remember Josh. He's the young 17-year-old young boy, and that's in high school, who was kicked out for believing or promoting the idea that, there's only two genders. Anyway, it was called education, not indoctrination. And as it turns out with these things, there was a polar opposite camp. Antifa showed up along with their supporters as an anti-protest to the protest. Through all of this, when it was all over, of course, there was some kerfuffles and some, disagreements between people. Police were there. They broke those up. There were some people charged on the Antifa side. And when it was all over, Joel Harden tweeted out that he had been punched in the face. That's right. This, fine fellow minding his own business got punched by these people who are anti-trans and these radical people who don't support this gender ideology stuff. Well, there was a slight problem with the story. It never happened. That's right. The internet's kind of funny and Twitter's really funny, and people started going online and started looking into the story. Because guess what? Everybody has an iPhone these days. That's right. Everybody had recordings all over the map. And as the story gradually unfolded, so did Joel Harden's story. The original version of events was, I was punched in the face. Then it became, I didn't really get punched in the face. I was kind of holding this bullhorn and somebody shoved me and I couldn't quite see it. And then that maybe punched me or nicked me or something. Then it became, I was between these two women who were fighting and they were pulling each other's hair. I separated them. And then as I turned around, somebody punched me in the face. Okay, so it seems like a lot of different stories. And then it kind of changed from, I can't quite remember. I think I got sucker punched or it was like it kept unfolding. Anyway, as the video evidence showed, as it turns out, he was nowhere near that fight between those two women. He can't even be seen anywhere standing near them. The only images you will have of Joel Harden is he's standing with an Antifa member who is using this instrument to create these huge sound waves to disrupt people and really cause them damage to their ears. That's what Joel Harden's doing. And the next time you see him, he's got another image where he's got a bullhorn up and he gets pushed and the bullhorn nicks him a little bit in the cheek. Right away, somebody would have known that something's off with the story, because usually when you get punched in the face, you don't get this little cut in your face. Punches don't seem to do that because people don't have spikes on their knuckles. And he kept doubling down as he kept changing the story. But what really adds to the story is that when he originally tweeted it out, Jagmeet Singh retweeted it. I mean, who needs evidence? You just kind of, retweet it. And then it looks like Yahoo News picked it up, CTV, a few other people. But amazingly enough, the police never charged anyone. That's right. You would think that something's off when the police are not charging the person who punched him, considering they have footage everywhere. The other thing that you would think would be really off is the CBC wasn't running with it 24/7. Come on. This is food for fodder for these people. They love this. This would have been like manna from heaven. Look, these people who are against the transing of kids are just violent. They're just terrible. We just need to lock them up. So, as the story basically is now kind of winding down, our conclusions are that we have a sitting MPP in Ontario, a politician with the NDP, who's a liar. Well, I mean, really, politicians lying. I mean, that's not really a huge surprise. But we need to call this person out, folks, because had this story had gotten legs, let's say people had not jumped into disavow the story and to prove that it was fake and a false narrative, this would have made it across one end of the country to the other. We would have had other nations saying, look, in Canada, look at all these violent things. This would have been another Ottawa. That's right. You know those bad protesters who just clogged the streets, were violent and all this other stuff? The narrative would have been pushed and promoted everywhere. This man needs to be shamed because he could have lit a political bond. He could have lit a fire across this land and caused so much strife and damage between people. This is truly the real hate crime. This is a hate hoax, and this person should be called out. And Jagmeet Singh and all those who didn't blindly followed along and just retweeting his messages should also be called out. Anyway, share the story with your friends. Get that name out there. This is a name that people should know. Joel Harden is, well, he's a typical politician. He's a liar. Anyway, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Please post any comments you have in the comment section. You can follow me on my Rumble on my Locals account. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. And I will see you next time.